I'm really pleased to be the first person to introduce our new president, the 21st president of Wagner College, Dr. Jeffrey Doggett. And I'm going to start by telling you a quick story. I promise it'll be quick. But about, I guess it's 6 years ago, maybe 7, I was part of a site visit team from the Northeast Conference. Merrimack College was deciding to make the jump to Division I and to hopefully join the Northeast Conference. So I went with our conference commissioner and an AD from, I believe, Sacred Heart at the time. We drove up there and we spent about 5 or 6 hours at Merrimack the whole day. And at first we met with President Chris Hopi, and he gave us the overview of the place. As he's apt to do, in about 10 minutes he told us everything that we needed to know. But then he had Jeff Doggett, who I think you were COO and Executive Vice President then. Jeff's the only person I know who at one institution has had more titles than I have. So, and so he took us around that day and showed us the campus. Now, we were there for an athletic site visit, but that was the last place he took us to. First, we visited residence halls. We talked to people from student life. We went to all the academic buildings. We saw faculty. We saw the new programs they'd started, I think nursing, and they re-energized their engineering program. And what I noticed as I was walking around with him, as we were walking around with him, is that just everybody on campus knew Jeff, but you could tell when you're with someone that's respected, too, on campus. And it was obvious to me that he was. And something he probably doesn't know, but when I got back to President Hopi, I asked him, when I was alone with him, do you think Jeff wants to be a president one day, college president? And he said to me, he is going to be a college president one day. And I assumed he meant at Merrimack, but but I'm glad if he did mean Merrimack, that Merrimack's loss is our gain, because I think he's the right person at the right time for Wagner College. And the last thing I'll say about that is, our search committee's here, and they did a great job. And when we got together in early fall, and we were looking at, the prospectus we needed to put out, and we talked about, what we were looking for. And if we had, we didn't, but if we had actually developed a checklist or a mock resume of the things we were looking for in terms of experience and accomplishments, honestly, it would have mirrored Jeff's history, what Jeff has done. And so I think that was very apparent as we went through the process. But I will tell you, and most people do know this, that great leadership isn't just what you accomplish, it's how you accomplish it. And it's how you bring people along the way while you accomplish it. And what I've come to realize, and I think the search committee felt this during our interview process, is that Jeff also cares about community and collaboration and teamwork. And I think that's very important because, yes, we need to do things here. We need to grow. We need to accomplish many of the things we've talked about, many of the things that they have done at Merrimack. But we need to do it in the right way by bringing everyone together. And I do think we have the right person to do that. So let me be the first to congratulate Jeff Doggett as the next president of Wagner College.
Thank you, Angelo. I have to say that, where'd you go? There you are. Wagner College has benefited greatly by your leadership these last 30 years, and we are so grateful that you chose to take on this last most important role before you retired. And I will say on behalf of the Board of Trustees, and I can probably speak for faculty and students and staff and Staten Island community, that say you will be missed greatly. And just a quick aside, 30 years ago, I actually had the privilege of working for and with Angelo in the admissions office here at Wagner. So to bring it full circle, where I get to say thank you again and farewell as a trustee, it's a great honor for me. So again, thank you. But I am also honored today to represent the Wagner College Board of Trustees. I'm sorry, my name is Lisa D'Irspino-Bennett. I don't think I even said that, assuming everybody knows me. I'm class of 1985, and I am a trustee here at the college. I was a theater major here at Wagner, which is probably the reason that I was asked to do this. No other reason than that. I am speaking today on behalf of the Wagner College Board of Trustees, and I'm honored to say a few words about the president-elect, Jeffrey Doggett, who on July 1st will become the college's 21st president. I know that Mark will follow me with some words from the chairman of the search committee, so I'll leave that topic to him and talk a little bit about the results of that search. As most of you already know, Dr. Doggett is joining Wagner's family from Merrimack College in North Andover, Massachusetts, where he has been serving most recently, as Executive Vice President, Chief Financial Officer, and Chancellor of Learning and Student Success. During his tenure there, the college has seen its undergraduate population more than double, an increase in GPAs, high school GPAs, and the growth of their graduate program. In addition, they've developed new academic programs and student experience initiatives while strengthening the college's brand and its financial position. Key. These successes and more have positioned Jeff to help Wagner achieve our near-term goals and our long-term strategic vision to help make Wagner the choice for a liberal arts education with strong professional programs for students across the U.S. and around the globe. We're also excited to have chosen a leader who is focused beyond the campus. Jeff considers work with and within the community an important part of his role and an important part of the higher education experience. And I will just pause to say that when I was pulling all of this together, it was just something that jumped out at me from his bio, and I said, I'm going to focus on that a little bit. And just before this meeting, we actually had a meeting with the trustees via Zoom with Jeff, and I was so pleased that one of the things that we did talk about was his community focus and his passion for ensuring that Wagner is a part of the community in which we sit. So, being a lifelong Staten Islander, I'm thrilled to know that we will have a president who understands the importance of community involvement and the impact that Wagner has not just on the immediate Grimes Hill neighborhood, but on the broader Staten Island community. Wagner College has made a positive difference on Staten Island, and I'm confident that Dr. Doggett will carry that legacy of service and commitment forward, strengthening the ties between Wagner and the borough he and his family will soon call home. I know there have been many meetings and discussions already, but over the next few months, there will be more as the transition takes shape, marching towards July 1. I think we're all excited about the coming months, and I hope you will join the Board of Trustees in actively supporting both Angelo and Jeff in this transition, and in welcoming Jeff and his family, who are here, by the way, Kristen, Margot, and Lincoln, to the Wagner family. I think this is an important part of being a part of a small private liberal arts college. We are a family. You all express it every day in your classes as students, as faculty, as staff, and I hope you will welcome the Doggetts here to this family and make them feel as welcome as you make our students feel and as you make those of us who come back to visit feel as well. So at the moment, I'd like to turn this over to Mark, who will share thoughts from Tom Kendris, the class of '78 and member of the Board of Trustees and the chair of the Presidential Search Committee. So welcome and thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to deliver some remarks on behalf of Tom Kendris, the chair of the Presidential Search Committee, who's joining us on the live stream but was unable to be with us in person. It has been a great privilege to lead the search committee for Wagner's 21st president. I thank Angelo, the trustees, faculty, and staff, as well as our student, who worked since October, bringing warm collegiality and the critical skills of assessment and discernment to identify Wagner's next president. Over the past several months, our committee took up a very challenging task, finding an exceptional leader who could build upon the legacy of President Angelo Aramo. The committee began its work by consulting with faculty, staff, students, alumni, and trustees to define the ideal qualities for our next president. From those conversations, it was clear that Wagner was looking for a leader with a rare combination of strengths. To steer us towards continued growth and transformation, that leader would need to possess, in equal measure, a visionary and human-centered leadership approach, an abiding commitment to Wagner's interdisciplinary model, and a deep operational and financial acumen. They would need to be a steward for our special campus culture and a strategic change maker. Guided by this understanding, we began our search. We vetted hundreds of applications, held dozens of reference calls, conducted 3 intense rounds of interviews, including on-campus conversations with faculty, staff, students, and trustees, and ultimately arrived at a unanimous decision. In Jeff Doggett, Wagner has found the exceptional leader we were searching for. Jeff spoke to us about harnessing the values of the Wagner community while taking advantage of our compelling geography and our community's innovative spirit. It became clear as we got to know Jeff that he was a perfect fit for Wagner, and also that Wagner was a perfect fit for Jeff. Jeff is by nature someone who engages with and invests in people, igniting a sense of common purpose. Someone who sees problems as opportunities, and who, even in short-term planning, maintains an unfailing strategic focus on the long view. He listens, learns, then leads. As you've heard, the imprint of Jeff's leadership is visible in every part of Merrimack College, from academics to athletics, from finance and operations to community partnerships. He has spearheaded extraordinary enrollment and program growth while affirming the academic mission and values of the institution. Jeff is clear-eyed, but undaunted by the challenges that face higher education and Wagner. He believes that a good leader must come to know their community, and he has already taken steps to engage in the Wagner community. As Lisa said, today we welcome not only Jeff, but also Kristen and Lincoln and Margot into our Wagner family. And I join the whole Wagner community in our excitement for the leadership of Jeff Doggett in the days ahead for Wagner. And so, it is my honor now to call forward Jeff Doggett, our next and 21st president, and President Angelo Aramo.
Put this here?
Yep. I'm gonna need someone doing that all the time. I don't know who you all have been talking about, but I greatly appreciate this. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Angelo, for your leadership and your dedication to this great institution that I get to call home now. And for setting this course for me. Should never have sat these 3 people in front of me. Never. I don't know who did that. But I can't look at Angelo and not see them, and now... Whew, okay. Back to the script. Thank God we wrote this, Mark, because I would have been lost now. I really appreciate everything you've done for me and my candidacy and what you'll do through this smooth transition. It's rare to have such a selfless partner. And sitting in the presidency, and I and Wagner are better for it. And I really do mean that. There are many, many, many transitions that go really badly. And it takes a community to make it work, and it starts with Angelo, and so I greatly appreciate that. I stand on your shoulders, and those of former presidents Garassi and Smith, both who reached out to me, which is just a great sense of the community and the decades of community, and I appreciate them doing so. I also want to thank Angela's wife, Mary, for you sharing Angela with me. I know I called the other day and he jumped out of a dinner. She's probably not going to miss that for much longer, but I thank you for everything that you've done in terms of sharing him with me and for this transition and Wagner over the decades. Thank you, Lisa, for your kind words, and for those of the search committee chair, Trustee Tom Kendris. The partnership between a president and a board is critical to the success of any institution, and I'm so happy to be joining a group of dedicated and caring leaders. I also want to thank the Bishop and Rob for joining. It means a lot that you're here today. I greatly appreciate your support and being part of this event. This afternoon, as Lisa said, we did have an opportunity to meet with the full board via Zoom. It was a great conversation. I will have to admit it felt a little bit like the interview at times, but we'll switch that over time and then they'll start reacting to me. But for right now, I greatly appreciate your support, everybody who's on Zoom and watching. I also want to thank the search committee, and I'd ask each one of them who are in this room to stand to be recognized. Please. I want to thank them and Storbeck, Ruth and Fiona, who are joining on the live stream. There's nothing more tedious than a search committee process. Adding to the stress of trying to represent the campus community, but having the limitations on what you can tell that very community is incredibly difficult. And all while putting the best foot forward and showcasing the very best of this community is not easy, but they did an outstanding job. I don't say this simply because I'm the one standing here. I mean it. This community owes you a debt of gratitude for the difficult assignment that you were given, and so thank you. Thank you also for those who are in this room and on the campus who met with the candidates. I learned a tremendous amount in my sessions. Most importantly, that this is a caring community. It's not just what was written in the pamphlets, but it truly exists. And I want to thank everybody who's here today, who's written, who's sent notes and comments and already given their opinions on the job that I will do or that I've already done. I greatly appreciate it, and I ask all of you to come and join in a series of listening meetings that we will have over the summer, where I get the opportunity to just ask some simple questions and just learn more about this great community. I also want to take a moment and thank a lot of other people who are not part of the Wagner team, or not yet anyways, and that includes the three here in front, my wife Kristen, who is amongst other things, is a service learning practitioner and a driving force of community engagement. My son Lincoln, who right now is missing, I think, the second now of 2 basketball games for his 4th grade travel team. And Margot, who may be the budding theater star, who last week was singing. Who has no fear until we walked over and I asked her what her remarks were going to be. I'm grateful for the sacrifice that they're making and being here today. I also want to thank a lot of people who are on the live stream, I hope. Starting with my parents, Tim and Peggy, who I believe are watching. If not, they're going to get a great video. And my extended Doggett family, the Harwoods, the Tierneys, the Simonellis, including my in-laws, Tony and Diane, and the Varholaks. We are our own community and our own family, and I look forward to merging those worlds together. To my friends at Northeastern and in its host communities that I've worked so closely with, especially my mentor, Tom Keaty, and to my friends and colleagues at Merrimack, especially the Augustinian Friars, who meant so much to me, and President Chris Hopi, who I know is watching, probably wondering where Angelo got some of the lines that he gave. But I will say this, what he described is what I lived. Someone who is willing to invest so that I can stand here today. We have achieved much together, and I carry those experiences with me for our success in tough times and good here at Wagner. To my extended colleagues from all types of campaigns and community efforts and industry efforts, thank you. To my classmates and teammates and coaches and groups that you won't understand, but they do because they're watching. MNO, Supreme 16, my EMBA crew, I appreciate everything you've done. I appreciate that you laugh at me and with me. I appreciate that you get in the foxholes with me. You are on my mind today. So thank you. Now, the real part of the speech, where I hope I won't break down anymore. A few days before I came back for the final interview, I was in Washington at a conference, which in essence is getting a whole bunch of college leaders to go out and meet with members of Congress and convince them that we are not the evil empire and that we're still doing good in society. And during that session, there was a forum that kind of grabbed my eye. And it was called, Who Wants the Job Anyways? A fresh look at presidential challenges. Well, I had no choice, I had to go. And shockingly, the only people in the room were college presidents, which doesn't make it any easier. It was actually not an inspiring moment at all. But it really got me thinking, why would anyone want to be a college president? I mean, let's face it. Declining enrollments, fed by demographic shifts, perceived out-of-control costs, questioning of the value of a college degree, mixed together with inflationary costs that exceed reasonable tuition increases, deferred maintenance issues, the threat of cybersecurity, student mental health epidemic, are all difficult. Just one of them is difficult. And yet as a leader, we have to deal with all of them. Add to the never-ending bad news cycle, and it's really not unfair to say that higher ed is under constant attack and experiencing rapid and uncomfortable change. And when I really reflected on that, I said to myself, forget about me. Why would anyone at any job, at any level, want to be part of higher education? And the answer to me was, it's pretty simple. It's important. It's important that we continue to have a system that prepares people for a life of professional and personal success. It's important that we have institutions pushing the boundaries of knowledge. It's important, and dare I say here personally to me, very important, that institutions be anchors in their communities and build interdependent ecosystems that we all benefit from. It's important that we have colleges and universities helping to create the next discovery, seed the next business, develop the next workforce, prepare the next generation of leaders. It's important that we have an educated society that treat the sick, that teach children, that employ our neighbors, that advance the arts, that ensure economic success for our communities, and lead us as a society. And it is personally important as professionals that we all know that we make a difference, that we all belong to a community, and we're all people that we support our families and our communities. I know this is important. I know that this is important to this warm and collegial community because you don't spend the extra hours on a stage getting the lines right, or the public K-12 schools helping teachers reach their students, or training in the sim lab, or with residents providing that teachable moment, or ensuring the campus looks great, or that we're all fed, or that we're all safe. If that's not important to us as individuals, then we shouldn't be here. But we're here because it's important to each one of us. You don't do the extra video work in the team room. You don't create the Holocaust remembrance space. You do not create a marching band if you don't care about something bigger than yourself. And every member of this community plays a role in the life of Wagner, and every individual is impacted by this community for which we are now all a part. And it's this community that made me so attracted to this institution and makes me so eager to join. Now, to say something provocative, I do not prescribe or subscribe to the idea that everyone needs a college degree to be successful. But for those who want a college degree and a college experience, there must be a place like Wagner for them to attend and learn and experience and achieve. And to ensure there is a Wagner to do this important work, we must recognize that the needs of our society are changing. To play that critical role, we must evolve how we do what is important. Gone are the days of this is how we've always done it. For us, for this community of educators, we must see this moment for what it is, an opportunity. And we must seize this opportunity to make the changes that will continue to make us relevant in the lives of our students and continue to make us the essential piece of our societal effort to transform students to achieve personal and professional success. That is what we are here to do. And we, the Wagner community, we must ensure that we differentiate what we offer and the important impacts we make so that we can attract a growing and diversifying group of students and professionals. It is too important not to see the opportunity. It is too important to let the moment pass us by. Together, not just me, not just you, together we will do this. It will not be easy. At times, it will be very difficult. But we will take on this challenge. No one in this community is uninvited. Everyone is asked to participate. My pledge to you is that I will do everything in my power to work with you, to be transparent, even when that is uncomfortable for you, because it will be. Transparency is uncomfortable. I learned that from the president of Merrimack. It is uncomfortable at times. But we do it because we have to come together and we have to develop strategies that will ensure our long-term success. That I will work with you as one community for one common purpose, and that is the success of the whole. And I promise you that I will give this community my full devotion towards that end. What I ask of you is to suspend your fear and your disbelief and your preconceived notions, to take this moment to dream and to explore and to try new things. I ask you to please be patient with me, for I will make mistakes. Probably made 3 on this, half the people in this room are making mental notes. I ask you to be patient with me, but I also ask you to be urgently engaged in our collective efforts to meet this moment. And please, please harness the innovative approaches that built the things like Wagner Plan and the platform for being an anchor institution in the Staten Island community. Let us harness the greatest strengths of this institution, our warm collegial culture, our amazing faculty and their academic innovation, our demonstrated richness of a Wagner interdisciplinary academic model and civic engagement, and our unwavering desire to make a difference in our students and in ourselves. We are all in higher education because we love what we do, and more importantly, we love the outcomes of our efforts. We love the moment when we see the spark in our student. We are validated when we see our colleagues achieve success. And we are prideful when we know we are the difference in someone else's life. What I hope to do as president, and what I hope to do with you, is to simply have more of that. To have more success, to impact more lives. That may often be referred to as growth, and surely from a financial position, growth will be critical for the future of this institution. But growth for growth's sake is not as important as expanding the impact we can make together. That is what I want to do with you. That is why I came here. I want to bottle up the very best of this community, and I want more and more people to pridefully experience it and be positively impacted by it. To achieve that, we must focus on the results and not so much on the hows. And we must lean on each other and work together and have a singular common purpose. We must be the village that is required to make someone, or in this case, a community of Seahawks successful. And that is where I want to leave you at this point, as we look forward, that it takes a village to achieve the success we need. That I uniquely understand how great an impact a village or a community can have on an individual. That what we do here at Wagner is incredibly important and impactful in the lives of so many. That the moment to ensure we do more of it is now. That I am grateful to be included in a community that is uniquely established to seize this moment. And finally, how grateful I am to be before you as your next president. The work of engaging this community starts now, literally now. We're going to leave here. We're all going to go to the Union faculty dining room, and we're going to come together as a community and celebrate, not with people at a podium, but just going around and shaking hands and enjoying each other's company. That's what I'm looking forward to the most. I want to thank Amy and Caitlin. Where's Amy? Is she here? She's not here. Amy and Caitlin, who are leading this transition team for me, and Kristen and Nicole and Mark from afar, who are helping in that effort. I look forward to meeting you. I look forward to working with you. I look forward to making an impact with you. Thank you very much.